What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on Victory Monday.
Victory!
Yes, Victory Monday. For your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys, how you feeling tonight about that? As we will go ahead and go out to this. There we go. Actually, that's not the one I want. Where is it at? There it is. Boom, right there. So how do we start off this show? As I'm working with StreamYard here more than anything else. 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. So here it is. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense as I knock down something on the table. You got to love that. So I'm pumped up. I know you guys are pumped up after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Philadelphia Eagles 33-16. So we will definitely recap that with you. Talk about that. Take your phone calls as always, because to tell you the truth, I got no guests tonight. I tried to schedule some people. Maybe we'll have Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Maybe we will have Harry the Greek coming on, because there was another big story tonight that came out. Pete Rose has passed away at 83 years old, the all-time hit king in Major League Baseball history. So not only are we going to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight, as there are also 2 NFL games on Monday Night Football. Last check, 9-3 in a barn burner between the Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins. That's not necessarily going well if you're a Dolphins fan. No, it's definitely not going well without Tua, that's for sure. That offense is not as explosive. And then you got 14-7 right now. The Lions are up on the Seattle Seahawks. So we'll see where this takes us. I definitely want to hear from you Bucs fans that didn't get a chance to call in yesterday. I want to know how you feel about Victory Monday. How has your breakfast been today? How was your work day today, knowing that your Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Philadelphia Eagles handily? Talk about all you want to, because the Eagle fans are going to do it. And even some Bucs haters out there are going to do it. You know why? Because they want to be right. They don't want to give the credit where credit is due. So stand by. Because I said I'd go out to the phone lines, and then I have my phone line hooked up. How can you have a phone line when you don't have it hooked up? So let's go ahead and go out to the phone lines here. Let's see if this will work. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Sports Web on a Victory Monday. There you go.
Peter, it's Trevor.
What's going on, Trevor, buddy? How do you feel about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers at this point, man? 3-1, 33-16 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Baker Mayfield, exceptional yesterday. Could have had over 400 yards. A good rushing standard there. The defense is able to get after Jalen Hurts. I get it, as I was talking about, as Eagle fans will say, as Buck hater fans will say out there. Not a fan of this team because A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith didn't play in this game. So, a victory is a victory. What are your thoughts after the Bucs beat the Eagles yesterday?
Well, I was down there yesterday.
Okay.
And I think I saw you. I wanted to speak, but I think you were in the middle of doing your podcast, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
Okay.
But
you saw me and you didn't say anything at all.
Well, I saw you, but you was in front of the camera, so I didn't want. You were doing your thing. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
When he's doing his work.
I appreciate it, man. And we call this the evolution, not necessarily a podcast, but everybody continues to call it that. But it's a live TV show. But listen, anytime you see me out, whether I'm working or not, if you want to say hi to me, if you want to, I'll go ahead and acknowledge you. As always, I love meeting fans around the Tampa Bay area, especially ones like yourself, Trevor, who have definitely supported the show, been a webhead. Met Nathan Elliott yesterday. Great to meet you, sir. I mean, I love this. I love the fact that Bucs fans walk up to me and go, hey, you're Peter Blake. You do the Sports Web. That's what it's all about. And again, without you guys, this show it's not exciting. It's not an exciting show. Bucs fans don't give a damn. and I'm just talking to an inanimate object like the camera at the end of the day. So you fans make it happen here on a nightly basis. So go ahead. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you not interrupting me, but never, ever be worried or scared to say hi and say what's up. And, of course, say three things. What are those three things you say, Trevor, when you see me out there in public? Say it.
Put me on the spot.
Say it, man.
I forgot.
Say it.
I forgot.
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Now, you say it now.
Bring your passion.
Bring your excitement.
Bring your excitement. Just don't bring your nonsense.
There you go. Now say it all together. Take it home for me, and then you can say whatever is on your mind when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man,
go.
I'm not sharp tonight, Peter.
You got it, man. I got it. Third time's the charm, my friend. It's Victory Monday. Come on. You got this. Come on.
Bring the passion.
Yes.
Just don't bring the nonsense. I forgot the other line, man. I'm not myself tonight. It's been a long weekend. I barely got any sleep.
Hey,
I'm so happy that we won.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons, So
yes.
So I apologize for being so sloppy and off
Bro,
tonight,
it's all good. It's all good. I get it. A lot of people have been through a lot of things this week with Hurricane Helene. Again, prayers and thoughts out to those people out there. Thanks for, again, watching the show. If we could take your mind off of it, that's what we definitely want to do here on the evolution of sports talk television. So come on, tell me what's on your mind tonight after the Bucs win.
Well, when I was out there yesterday, before the game, I was pissed off because I saw that my freaking stadium was painted green.
Right, exactly.
I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, Bucs fans, where are we at?
Yes.
I thought I was in Philadelphia, Florida yesterday. I was like, what the hell is going on?
It's disappointing, isn't it? Is it not disappointing to see that? But you knew it was going to come. You knew it was going to happen. We talked about it. It's just one of those things, right? The Eagle fans, they're either around here or they're dressing up as Bucs fans one week and the next week dressing up as Eagle fans. But you know what? They didn't go home happy, my friend. Not at all. They did not go home happy. And they were pretty hot, too. It was pretty hot outside. It was over 100 at this point. So
I actually got to sit front row yesterday. And I'm so upset because Mike Evans didn't catch a touchdown on my end zone. I had an Evans jersey on, and I literally was the only Evans jersey in sight. I was like, I know Mike's about to catch this ball and give me the ball.
Right.
But unfortunately, it did not happen. But the second best thing was seeing all those cry Eagles, cry babies walking their ass out of our stadium, pissed off because they just got their asses kicked by the real Eagle killers.
Yes.
I mean, the record speaks for itself.
Yes.
I love the way our offense came out. It was just, we got bullied last week, and we was like, you know what? This is not going to happen again this week. And we took charge. We brought the ass whoop to them, and we wasn't going to go out like some scrubs yesterday. And I loved everything I saw. I'm so proud of the team. We just got through frying one bird. Thursday we got to go fry another bird.
Yep.
So
and it's gonna be on a short week. And of course, there's lots of hype. There's major hype coming into the season, right? We've heard it throughout the offseason when it comes to this Atlanta Falcon team and their offensive weapons and Kirk Cousins paying them $180 million. And listen, they've had their fair share of struggles themselves, but they're going to be ready for that matchup. And once again, it's going to be a short week for the Bucs. They get off today, you practice tomorrow, you go through a walkthrough on Wednesday, and boom, there you are on Thursday Night Football. And if you can pull out this victory, and I think certainly if you play your game, and you saw this from the very first drive with Baker Mayfield, starting out the game 8 for 9, 62 yards. And what was the focal point of that, Trevor? The focal point was to get the ball to Mike Evans. That's exactly what you got to do. And you got to come out with that emotion. You got to play your game because, again, it's not for long. The NFL means not for long if you come out there and you don't have your best effort. We saw that versus the Denver Broncos, and we saw the other side of this team, the other side of the coin, if you will, against the Philadelphia Eagles. So hopefully they come out and have that same type of effort, right?
Yes, and you know what? I think the most impressive thing is crazy, in my opinion. It's not even the fact that we scored 3 straight touchdowns, which was impressive.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's easy to be jumping up and down when you're up by 3 scores.
Sure. When
Philly came out and scored immediately after the second half, I love the way our offense responded. Okay, we just got punched in the mouth, but we got right back in the ring and we punched Philly right back in the mouth. So we responded the correct way. That's what good teams do.
Yes.
When a team, because teams are going to get big plays. Their squad are getting paid millions of dollars to play football too. So they have talented players and they're going to make plays sometimes. But we was able to respond and say, hey, you got us here, but we're not going to be down and out. We're going to continue to fight our asses off, which is what we did. And we, was able to persevere. And we was like, no, y'all are not going to get any momentum. Y'all got one big play on us, but that's not going to be the fuel that's going to have a comeback. That's not happening today. And we just took care of business. We handled it the way we were supposed to, and I think that was the most impressive thing about what I saw yesterday.
And I love the fact the defense came out with Lavonte David even being shorthanded, but how much of an impact could Vita Vea make on that defensive line? A major impact, night and day. Again, 6 sacks coming into the game, only 2 sacks, so he definitely played a major part of that. And Lavonte David, the ageless wonder, if you will, 2.5 sacks yesterday, causing a fumble. I mean, just amazing numbers. And if you're thinking that Lavonte David is not a Hall of Famer, watch that game and watch his 13-year career where it has been a level of consistency, even with this defense and this organization with some of the losses and losing seasons. He's still their best player on defense. He's definitely the heart and soul of this defense. And you know what I like? I like the fact of where the Bucs are up 14-0. They get that turnover, and we didn't mention this on the post-game show in collaboration with the J.P. Peterson Show live from Raymond James Stadium. Special teams makes a play. You get the fumble back. You have the opportunity to go for 4th down, and instead of taking the field goal, and I know a lot of Bucs fans would say, we'll take the points, or Todd Bowles is too conservative. You go for it on 4th down. You make a statement. You go run pass option with Baker Mayfield into the end zone, and at that point, the Eagles and their defense is sucking wind, and the Bucs offense is up 21-0. You're starting to feel good. I even have my 2nd or 3rd plate by then. I mean, I was trying to figure out how to stuff my face, but I had to continue to watch the game. And then after that, then I could go stuff my face. But I like the decision call. I like the decision-making by Todd Bowles being aggressive at that point. What did you say?
I say Riverboat Todd.
Riverboat Todd. I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Anything else here on the sports web, my friend?
No, I just, hopefully we can get some key pieces back, continue to get more healthier, and, be at full strength Thursday, because we're going to need all hands on deck when we compete against a very talented Falcons team.
All hands on deck, and we'll see where we're going to be. We'll see where we're going to be at Ferg's for your pregame show, your halftime show, and your postgame. And, of course, it's my birthday. So what do I want for my birthday being 46 years old? I want a Bucs win. How about that? A Bucs win. And I know Todd will be excited if you do get a Bucs win.
It's exciting.
And, of course, Trevor, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call here on a Victory Monday, man. Appreciate you, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good one.
Good stuff, man. Go Bucs as always.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So give me your thoughts on this Victory Monday celebration, if you will, as your Bucs move to 3-1 as they defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 33-16. Again, 727-255-0391. it's 727-255-0391. Want to go back out to these comments and get a chance to read the comments. First says Roger Shue, so we will acknowledge you.
Acknowledge me.
All right, let's go out to Carl here. Mondays are so much better with the big win. They are. You must be watching my reel because I put that out there today. Even after the Lions game, I didn't have a chance to do it last Monday, but I put it out there this week. Because it is so true. Is it not? You get up, your job is better, the breakfast is better, the significant other is better. By the way, disclaimer, I don't have a significant other, but I'm just saying if I did, it would be better. Everything is better at that point. You know why? Because the Bucs won. Because the Bucs won. Because the Bucs won.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Because the Bucs won. There you go. All right. So good stuff there, Carl. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Evolution on Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday celebration. Second, happy Victory Monday. Happy Victory Monday to you.
Victory!
I love that. I'm just going to use that up all night long. Good evening, Peter. Victory Monday.
Victory!
Yes, let's go out to Travis here. Yes, Pete Rose is the hit king. Absolutely belongs in Cooperstown. I'm throwing that out there tonight. Do you believe that Pete Rose, with his death today, with just his numbers right now as they sit, being the all-time hit king in Major League Baseball history, does he belong in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? Put it in the comments. Get on the phone lines. We're expected to have Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, talking about this because he knew Pete. He knew Pete personally. He's got some stories. He's got some thoughts. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Not only will we talk about that, well, ask, you shall receive. Mr. Harry the Greek, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday after the Bucs defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, a somber show, if you will, with the breaking news here in the last hour and a half that all-time hit king for Major League Baseball, Pete Rose, passes away at 83. Your thoughts? Give me some memories, man. Welcome to the evolution.
Man, Pete, great victory by the Bucs. It's a very sad day. You know, as you know, I was pretty good friends with Pete for many, 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 many years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just sad, man. But I don't know. But I really like to bring my passion and, you know, bring the excitement. I just don't know if I can't bring the nonsense.
Well, you definitely can't bring any nonsense on this show, my friend, because, well, sometimes you do bring the nonsense, but I know, I'm not going to tease you right now with Rose passing away, because I know that he was one of your personal friends. You did hang out with him. So go ahead. Let's talk about it, my friend.
I got a really good story to share with everybody about Pete.
Okay.
Everybody knew he likes to gamble.
Right.
And he was a really, really good horse handicapper.
Okay.
And loved to play the ponies. And I remember, back when Mr. Steinbrenner was alive, I used to have a table that was in the clubhouse over at Tampa Bay Downs.
Okay.
And, George would walk by, Mr. Steinbrenner would walk by, he'd see me there. Hey, Harry, how you doing? At least, we have a little idle conversation. Well, this particular evening, Pete Rose was sitting at the table. And as George is approaching the table, and he goes, "Hey, Berg, what's up?" And I was like, "Nothing much. How you doing, sir?" And he turns around, he sees Pete there, and he starts walking away, and he mumbles, "You really should keep better company, Harry."
So George didn't necessarily like him at all. Why didn't George like him?
I'm not at liberties to divulge that information, but I'm sure you could probably figure it out as everybody else. But no, he was definitely not a fan of Pete. I've been to different casinos with him. I mean, it was definitely a fun type of relationship. I've seen a couple of his autograph signings, and just a good guy. Love the game of baseball. But a lot of people always ask me, "Hey, does he belong in the Hall of Fame?"
Yeah.
Pete, I'm going to say yes. For what he did on that field, absolutely. But I can also make the same case for someone that we never talk about because he died so many years ago, and his name was Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Correct.
And he never got in, and he died. And what a career that man had. He never even got to finish his career. And if anybody doesn't know anything about baseball, look it up, who Shoeless Joe Jackson was with the Chicago White Sox, and he was all part of the Black Sox scandal. And here's the kicker, Pete. He didn't make it into the Hall of Fame, and they never proved that he bet on the baseball game. And it come to find out after he died that he never did bet on that series. He batted almost like 500 or 600 or something stupid.
Yeah.
After during that series, he batted like 500 or 600. How do you throw a game?
Yeah, I don't know how you throw a game, and again, it's a guilt by suspicion, or and a guilt by association And that's what I've always said about the steroid era when people say that's a broad brush, right? Because there were players in that generation, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Fred McGriff, who did it naturally, and it cost McGriff.
Yeah, that's about the only three.
Right.
You know what, Peter? I'm glad you brought that up. That's about the only three that were great baseball players that never used.
I think there's other. I think there's other players.
Anybody to tell me,
right? I think
not with the magnitude, with the magnitude that they that they put forward. I mean, name a better baseball player that didn't use steroids than Frank Thomas or Fred McGriff. Come on.
Yeah. A lot of people again thought Ken Griffey used it because he was hurt for so many years, and again, that's the guilt by association. Going back to it, I always felt like Pete Rose definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame for, his accomplishments on the field. You look at it, all-time hits leader, 4,256 hits. Just two players, Ty Cobb, to surpass 4,000 hits. He also holds major league records for games played, 3,562 plate appearances, at-bats, won 3 batting titles, 2 Gold Glove awards throughout his career, and picked up 17 All-Star nods. And I believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame simply because of what he did on the field. As a manager, it's a different story, but what he did on the field, that's why people always take exception. Well, you can't feel that way if you feel differently about Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, all those other players. No, they cheated in their career. Alex Rodriguez, they all cheated during their career. They didn't cheat as a manager. They cheated as a player. So that's the reason why you keep them out of the Hall of Fame and you put Rose in. And sadly, I think the hypocrisy of all professional sports, including Major League Baseball, with, getting in bed with professional gambling and everything like that, there should be some type of, putting Shoeless Joe Jackson in, putting Pete Rose in. It's time to forgive these guys. And unfortunately, it's too late because Rose can't enjoy it. And most likely Rose knew he was never going to get into the Hall of Fame, ever.
We had some very in-depth conversations. I will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
He acted like it really wasn't that big of a deal to him. It really was.
Right.
But he even known he succumbed to the feeling that, it's just never going to happen. He hated Bart Giamatti. And I'll go on record saying it. But Pete, he's never going to get in. He should, but he's never going to get in because of what happened to Shoeless Joe. So if they bring in Pete, what about the people that can advocate for Shoeless Joe? Then they'd have to let him in.
Why not?
Baseball's stubborn. You are correct. They're a bunch of hypocrites. I'll tell you what. I talked to Roberto about an hour and a half ago.
Okay.
Hernandez.
Roberto Hernandez,
former
of course.
Major League player.
Right.
Okay. In the moment I told him, in the very first thing he said, guess what? Now they're going to let him into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And I went, what about Shoeless Joe? And he went, you may have a point there, Harry.
Right.
You may actually have a point there. But then again, it's a completely different era. I think people have forgotten about Shoeless Joe. But I'll tell you what, the only chance I think that Mr. Rose has a chance of getting into the Hall of Fame, I've always believed in the power in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If the people and the fans, and they started those support groups to go out there and start, I mean, look, man, you got the Me movement, whatever the hell they call it.
Me too.
Why don't they start a movement of, let's start a movement of the man should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you put enough pressure on these owners,
mm-hmm.
they can overturn anything. I mean, let's be real, Pete. Did you ever see, and did you ever think that you see a gambling establishment in any sports venue in this country?
No.
Honestly.
No, I never thought you were going to see that. No.
And by the year 2030, every sports facility, whether it's the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, who am I missing? MLS, who else am I missing?
NHL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, they've all gotten, again, it's always been there.
They're all going to have a sports book.
Of course they are.
You're going to have a sports book in
right.
there. And then, you know what that's going to do? It's all about hypocrisy.
Yep.
And everybody knows that I'm an advocate for gambling, and I'll stand on a mountaintop. But I was also that person 2-3 years ago screaming, please, don't allow this to happen. It's going to taint the great game of baseball. It's going to taint our great game of football. And you know what? A couple of years ago, what happened, Pete? Indianapolis Colts players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how about the referees in basketball?
There's always that doubt, right? Because you opened up Pandora's box. And again, I think it's good for professional sports to have more money. The betting aspect should be in it because it is a part of sports and it has always been a part of sports. But then there's always that downside to where, why didn't the Falcons get that interference call? Well, Kansas City always gets that. There was a play in the Browns-Raiders game yesterday where the line was over, 37. And they took off a play and it ended up being 36. A lot of people lost out in Vegas. People go, why did they make that call? Was Vegas in on that? That's what you've opened up with all these professional teams getting in bed with gambling.
And Pete, that's a great point. I'm going to tell you something, man. If that call would have made the game go over, then I'd probably say, horse caca. People don't generally bet the over. They didn't let that game go over, and Vegas made plenty of money.
That's it.
And again, when I talk about gambling, especially with the over-under, when we're talking about the totals in these games, what did I always say, Pete? If the total is 39.5 or less, you always bet under.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Okay.
Because they're trying to bait you to bet the over.
Great stuff, Harry the Greek. I want to go back to Rose. He had this to say to the Cincinnati Enquirer in 2018. I am the winningest athlete in team sports history. To me, my biggest record is the number of winning games I played, and that's also a testament to all the great teammates I played with. One of those guys that we would know on this show, or you wouldn't know, would be George Foster. Why is that name relevant? Because, of course, he was an MVP there in the 70s, and I got a chance to meet him. He was my guy, the legend that won the home run derby contest where I won it off the radio station, the TJ Reeves show at the time. And when he won the home run derby contest, I got a chance to go to my first baseball game, and that was in 1995, the All-Star game, all expense paid trip, airplane, hotel, all paid for because George Foster beat George Brett in the Legends game there at Al Lang Field at the time, Al Lang Stadium, I think it was, during the Legends. So George Foster was my guy. And, of course, it is a small world, my friend, and he played, of course, on that big red machine. So good stuff there, my friend. Go ahead and give me some final thoughts. I know you talked about Rose, but talk about this NFL week. Were you surprised to see what happened with Tampa Bay? What team is this Bucs team, in your opinion? Is it the one that played the Denver Broncos, or is it the one that destroyed the Washington Commanders, that beat the Detroit Lions even with the injury situation on the road, and the one that destroyed the Eagles yesterday? Which team is it? Because a lot of Bucs fans are asking, will the real team please stand up, and that being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So which team is it? Is it the one that lost to the Broncos, or the one that you expected to start out 5-1? It looks like they may start out 5-1 if they could take care of their business here the next couple of weeks.
Well, I'm the one who did predict that this team can go 5-1, even 6-0. I thought this team would have struggled against Washington because, they don't really have that great of a time, that great of a record facing rookie quarterbacks or, quarterbacks that they haven't faced. Well, I was wrong about Washington, but so far they're playing really good football. Let me be really clear when I say this, Pete. Which team is this going to be? You're going to find out really soon. But I will tell you this. I was not happy to see a team that should have absolutely crushed an opponent. Instead, they got their ass handed to them. And generally, great football teams do not allow that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good football team. And I think this team takes off some certain. I mean, I'm not going to say it because people are going to say, he's just a hater.
Right.
The reality is this. They never should have lost this game to the Denver Broncos. You can call it whatever it is. I told you before the game. I says, you want this team to be great, Peter? And you're like, yeah. You remember me telling you this?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, this is what is going to be predicated on what kind of football team you actually have. They overlooked the Denver Broncos, and great football teams do not do that. But you know what? Todd Bowles will right this ship. Tampa's fine, and they're a damn good football team. Are they great? They are not great. They're a really, really good football team that can actually make some damage in the playoffs.
I definitely think they can, and of course they got to get healthy, and getting back Kalijah Cansey definitely will help. Getting back Antoine Winfield Jr. will definitely help, and of course getting back Luke Gedeke, your right tackle, will help. But again, a dominating effort versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Harry, appreciate the time, my friend. We'll let you go on that, and we'll see you soon here on the Evolution. All right.
Absolutely, Pete. Take care of yourself, buddy. All
right, man. Good stuff there. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll bring it in here. We'll also keep on reading these comments, but the questions for the night: what did you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that victorious win over the Philadelphia Eagles? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And now with the passing of Pete Rose, should he be in the Baseball Hall of Fame? So that is opened up tonight for you guys. Absolutely. I'm going to go out to Travis here. Yes, Pete Rose is the hit king. Absolutely belongs in Cooperstown. Roger Shue, let me acknowledge you.
Acknowledge me.
R.I.P. Pete Rose. Daniel Williams. Mr. Williams, thanks a lot for tuning in and calling in yesterday.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Again, Facebook stars are open. YouTube super chats if you want to give to the content. Appreciate that. Going live right in the middle of Monday Night Football. Crazy. That's what we do here. It's Victory Monday.
Victory!
And he's got 2 games on right now. And again, to update the score, Titans up 9-6 and a 62-yard attempt by Seattle here as they are winning 21-7. Excuse me, Detroit's winning 21-7. Let's see if they get it. No good. It's been fielded by the Lions there as they kept a man back. And this is at the end of the half, and he's going to be tackled down. Looked like a face mask there. But 21-7 Detroit at halftime. So there you go. Darlene, the Green Queen, congrats on the victory. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Rick, Major League Baseball retire number 14. KR. Hey, Peter Gang, happy Victory Monday.
Victory!
There we go. Christopher Cole says R.I.P. Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo. It was a tough day if you were a sports fan, especially the NBA and Major League Baseball. One of the greatest shot blockers of all time, Dikembe Mutombo, passes away at 58 years old of what else? Cancer, brain cancer. 58, brain cancer. That's where we're at this point. So, sad day. Let's go out to Q. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's stars or whatever it is, but I appreciate you tuning in. And as always, participating as you guys should participate on this show when it is a Victory Monday. Let's go out to Ben Cornett. Good evening. Great win by the Bucs yesterday. Levante David was a player of the game. 2 sacks on Jalen. Led the team in tackles. Levante is a Bucs treasure. Also, the Bucs getting Evans more involved was great to see. Absolutely. I don't know what else we can say about Levante David besides he is a level of consistency. And anybody, once again, disrespecting this man as a player for what he does, not only on the field, but off the field, but especially on the field with the tackles and the sacks and the causing fumbles right up there, surpassing Khalil Mack. I mean, you look at the list of, causing fumbles. There's a difference there. Levante David is a middle linebacker, right? He's an off linebacker. He's not a guy. He's not an edge linebacker. You shouldn't have that many. But he has a knack for causing those fumbles. So that's impressive in itself. People will talk about Luke Kuechly. People will talk about, Wagner being the guy that should be in there. But Levante David, the level of consistency, once again, belongs in the Hall of Fame. And because he doesn't get that respect, because the Bucs for so many years had a losing team, had losing teams. And that's just disappointing because he definitely belongs. He's definitely on his way to the Hall of Fame. And we definitely got to talk to the sage of Tampa Bay, Ira Kaufman, here eventually about it, because he's the guy that's going to present the case. And I think he's got a great case to present when it comes to Mr. David. And you're absolutely right. When the Eagles looked like they were getting back in that game and they had the momentum, he's able to cause that fumble. And it turns the game around. You know, that defense, everybody wants to talk about the offense. You should. Godwin balled out yesterday. Evans, as we talked about, balled out. You needed to get him involved. We heard all last week how you're going to be able to do that. They were able to do that from the very get-go. From that first drive, the first pass of the game, Mike Evans, wide open. Let's hit him. Let's go. Mike Evans with the touchdown. You shut the Eagles fans down. They're not excited anymore. Why? Because you're up 7-0. Then you're up 14-0. Then you're up 21-0. And it's bye, Eagles, bye. Bye, Eagles, bye. Bye, Eagles, bye.
This guy sucks.
That's what you do. Like, we could sit here until the cows come home and talk about how opposing fans, you know, invade Raymond James Stadium. And you know how you stop that? You kick their ass. You kick their teeth out. You take the fight out of them. You use the home field advantage. A lot of people were saying it's hot yesterday. Welcome to Florida. It's not cold here. So you use the home field advantage. You punch them in the mouth. Your offensive line did a hell of a job yesterday after the last 2 weeks of giving up 12 sacks. Good job protecting Baker. That was important. Good job shutting down those two hosses in the middle, and a Jalen Carter and a Jordan Davis. Good job. It doesn't get talked about, but it should be talked about because it's an important factor. You can see how different your offense is when you give Baker Mayfield more than 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball. We know that he can escape. We know that he can make things happen with his feet. But you don't always want to do that. You don't want your quarterback to take those shots. Your offensive line is able to weaken that Philly Eagle defense. And eventually you're able to pound the ball on them. And that takes the air out of their balloon. And the fans go home unhappy. Good for you. Thanks a lot for coming. Appreciate you spending money here with the Bucs. Drive home safely. You lost. You got absolutely nothing. So yes, that was important yesterday. And all facets, offense, defense, special teams. Even though you have the blocked extra point, which goes for 2. Big field goals here by Chase McLaughlin, especially the 52-yarder to make it 24-0. Everything was big yesterday. The punting game, we'll see. We'll see if Jake Camarda comes back. We'll see if Trenton Gill did enough yesterday. Some high punts, but not the distance you want. We'll see what happens because that's an important factor. Your special teams is important. We talked about it. They recovered that fumble. Josh Hayes gets blocked into the returner. The ball comes out. Looks like it's going to be pass catch interference. Ball pops out. Bucs recover. They review it. Correct call. Good job, refs. Way to go. One good call out of 20.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let it go to your head. Just make the right calls. That's huge. That is huge. And here's what you hear right now from a lot of Bucs fans who wanted Todd Bowles fired last week. Todd Bowles isn't emotional enough.
It's exciting.
It is exciting, Todd. He's not emotional enough. He's not going to take chances. He takes that chance on the 4th down. He goes in with Baker Mayfield. He believes in his offense. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to KR. Happy early birthday, Peter. It's exciting. It is exciting.
It's exciting.
It is absolutely exciting. And I told you what I want. Not only for you to support this show, webheads, not only for you to give Facebook stars and YouTube super chats, I want a Bucs win on Thursday night. How about that? That's what I want. That's all I want at this point. Really. I want a Bucs win. I got everything I could have that I could have here. I got a great show, got a great fan base, got webheads, friends and family, maybe not a significant other, maybe not any kids, maybe not on national TV, but we don't talk about what we don't have. We talk about what we do have here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. That's what I want. I want a Bucs victory. I don't know about you. I've been tired of hearing about the Atlanta Falcons and how great they are. I'm tired of hearing about how great Kirk Cousins is and Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson and how they made all these moves in the offseason with getting Simmons as a safety and Judon. And they're going to win the NFC South and take the NFL by storm. Look out for the Atlanta Falcons. Screw that. I don't care about that. I want a statement made on Thursday night by this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Come out and have that same effort. Come out and have that same excitement, if you will. Like you're playing with your hair on fire. Because you could see from the very get-go, Baker Mayfield was ready to go. He was ready to go. All right, let's go out to Jamie here. Did you see my buddy Elias going crazy getting Tom Brady's autograph on his jersey? Yeah, I did. Absolutely. He called the show afterwards. The post-game edition. Live on the field. That's a great story. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. Was contacting me last night. What am I going to do? Enjoy it. Embrace it. I don't know if you sell it. It may be worth a lot of money. You know, it goes back to like if you have something that's signed and it's somebody's going to give you a lot of money for it. I mean, what is it for you? Do you want to keep it because you're a Bucs fan or do you want to cash out? It's like the same baseball fan, right? We've been talking baseball tonight. People go, oh, you don't want to talk baseball. We talk baseball. Throw it out there. Pete Rose, did he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? Easy question. Why or why not? But it's like, you know, somebody getting a 50th baseball or, you know, Mike Judge's baseball, right? Not Mike Judge. Aaron Judge. Mike Judge is the creator of Beavis and Butthead. I feel like a butthead right now, getting those two names mixed up. Aaron Judge. You get that Aaron Judge baseball. Do you keep it or do you sell it for $1.5 million? What do you do with it? That's your decision. So, Elias, you absolutely deserve it, my friend. Absolutely. All right, let's go out to Ben here. We definitely play better under the radar. Yeah. Why not? Let them keep on and they being the social media or the national media continue to disrespect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let them continue to do that. It helps. It puts a chip on their shoulder. Right? I mean, there were so many fans last week that were saying, season's over with. They're garbage. They lost to the Denver Broncos. They should have never lost to the Denver Broncos. Todd Bowles never has his team ready to play. And then we sit here tonight on a victory Monday, and we don't got many fans calling in and talking about what a hell of a coaching job Todd Bowles did. Right, Todd?
It's exciting!
It is. That defense was exciting. 6 sacks, getting after it. Vita Vea. Isn't it amazing what kind of impact he makes on this team? Yaya Diaby, JTS. The stats weren't there yesterday, but he got some pressures. Chris Braswell. We talked about Levante David. And we'll talk about this injury situation that's come up today because it looks like the Bucs have lost another defender here, maybe for an extended period of time. So we'll get into that in a moment. But definitely, you play better under the radar. This team does. They love that. So let them be under the radar. Continue with the mouth breathers, the knuckle draggers that continue to talk about how great the Atlanta Falcons are. And just let the Bucs do their thing. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Should have been in 30 years ago. Agree.
Acknowledge me.
We agree on something. It's amazing. I'm surprised you have not called yet. Most likely, though, you're watching wrestling because Monday Night Raw is on right now. And you got 2 Monday Night Football games that are on. LFG, Bucs win. LFG, yes. Let's go out to Jason. Pete 100% belongs in the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much, Jason.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to Jason again. Jordan loves love to gamble, I hear. That would be Michael Jordan. There was some scuttlebutt about that. I heard some things through the grapevine that maybe that's the reason why he retired. Just allegations at this point. Does it take away that Jordan was the GOAT, the greatest player of all time, maybe the greatest athlete of all time? Not at all. What did he do on the court? What did Pete Rose do on the field? What did he do for the game of baseball? Charlie Hustle. What did he do? To me, he's a Hall of Fame player. Period. I don't care what he did as a manager. And it's hypocritical for baseball's stance the last couple of years with, again, getting in there, getting in bed with sports betting and not putting this man, not giving his just due to be a Hall of Fame baseball player. Just my opinion. What's yours? MLB better not put Rose in the Hall of Fame now. If they do, it would be a damn shame because why not put him in already? Agree. Let's go out to Roger Shue. They'll put Pete in now that he's dead. I think the same thing. Sosa never failed a drug test. Come on now. Let's not play games here. Let's not play games.
This guy sucks.
We know he did something, right? The numbers, he got 3 straight 60 home run seasons. I'm going to sit here and try to be naive about it. He did something. He definitely did something. Maybe it's guilt by association, but he was on that list. He was on that Mitchell report. I did not forget that, along with the other cheaters. He was. All right, let's go out to I'm right. Go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs. Let's go out to Mauricio. Having Vita healthy versus the Eagles made a massive difference. Absolutely. Not just the pass rush game, not just what he can do by destroying an offensive line, right? That interior line. It's pretty good. But did it help not having Lane Johnson as your left tackle being out yesterday? Yeah, that didn't help. But again, we're not going to sit here and make excuses because you would still be saying the same thing when it comes to the Bucs. A loss is a loss. They lose to the Denver Broncos. People are saying they're missing players. Oh, well, they still lost the game. Same thing with the Eagles. But that's what Vita Vea does to an opposing offensive line. Destroys it. Not only in the running game, but also in the passing game with freeing up guys because he takes on those double and triple teams. But going back to the running game aspect, the one play by Saquon Barkley, the big play, and that's about it. You shut down Saquon Barkley, that's a pretty damn good deal. Good job by that Bucs defense. Of course, they don't want to give up that big play, but that's the staple of their defense. You shut down that running game. You got to shut down that running game. You shut down that running game, guess what happens? You put the onus on Jalen Hurts to throw to, I don't know, Johnny Wilson, Paris Warren, Paris Hilton, whoever was out there yesterday. Paris Campbell, I think his name was. Yeah, it's not Paris Hilton. It might as well been Paris Hilton with the wide receivers they had there yesterday. They had 2 of their top wide receivers out. That's the game plan. You shut down the running game and you put the onus on Jalen Hurts and you get after him. You force him into making throws and throwing the ball out of bounds. You saw a lot of pressure yesterday by Todd Bowles. And that's the aspect that Bowles doesn't get enough credit for, right? People talk about, the game management situations or not being aggressive enough. And he had those situations yesterday where he was aggressive. But what you don't talk about is how much of a defensive mastermind he is. I'm sorry. Let's go back to it. Let's rewind the clocks, if you will. Let's go back into the time machine. What defense shut down Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints? That would be that Todd Bowles-led defense in 2020. Would it not be? Would it not? Is that a yes?
Yes!
Okay. Thought so. What about Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and the NFC Championship game? Did he do a number on Rodgers, the MVP that year with that offense? Yeah.
Yes! Yes!
Okay, that's 2. Right? People, again, talk about the offense, talk about the running game, never talk about the defense. You should talk about the defense. Who shut down the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill? That's right. It was Todd Bowles and his defense.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
And yet, no credit. No credit at all. That's the thing. It's the most underrated about Bowles. That defensive scheme, getting after it, using the pieces that he has around him. getting the most out of him, even without a Kalijah Cansey, even without an Antoine Winfield Jr., even without a Savassier Dennis, who we'll get back to in a moment. All right, let's see. You know I'm right. Hi, Pete. What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Sarah, who I also met out there at Raymond James Stadium. One game. Eagles weren't ready for Florida's post-hurricane humidity and heat. Victory Monday, baby!
Victory!
Yes, absolutely. Good stuff, Sarah. Appreciate you. Let's go out to Adam here. Sad. It is sad. I think you're talking about Pete Rose. Hopefully not the broadcast. It is sad that a true Major League Baseball legend passes away and he's not in the Hall of Fame. And the reasons why he's not in the Hall of Fame is the archaic rule by Major League Baseball themselves to not recognize what a great player he was on the field. Like, you guys forget about it. But look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. You know, I always say the lifeblood of the sports web is the web heads and the Tampa Bay sports fan. The lifeblood of Major League Baseball is its records. It's why I'm so staunch when I talk about guys like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Roger Clemens and Alex Rodriguez cheating. Because that is what baseball is about. It's about the numbers. They're the lifeblood of it. The numbers don't lie when it comes to Pete Rose as a player on the field. He should be in the Hall of Fame, period. Manager, different story. Did he bet on baseball? Most likely he did. Did he bet on his own team? Most likely he did. Did he lie to Major League Baseball? Absolutely. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Hey, it's Charles. What's going on, Peter?
What's going on, buddy? Charles Richardson of the Charles Richardson Show, also giving me stars almost every week, man. I appreciate you as always.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So what's on your mind tonight, boss?
So, yeah, Pete Rose, definitely might take his Hall of Fame 100%. The reason why he was never put in is because he got issued a lifetime ban that nobody after Giamatti died wanted to go ahead and overturn because, well, he died. And, so now with him dead, that gives his lifetime ban is over.
Right.
So he can now be reinstated and into the Hall of Fame, which they're going to do. It is sad that how gambling has taken over the way it has. Mm-hmm. That it had to take his death to be done like this. And now he'll be recognized, but he'll never know that glory. He won't be able to get to stand in front of people to do a speech and enshrinement. He won't be able to do that. So it is kind of sad.
It is sad. And, the moments that he made in baseball, putting his heart and soul out there, the all-star appearances, of course, who could forget him and Ray Fosse there, and it was an all-star game. You're playing your heart out, and you run over the catcher. You couldn't do that today because of all the rules and safety, because nobody cares about the all-star game. He cared about it. He was Charlie Hustle. He gave every blood, sweat, tears. And again, did he have a problem off the field? Obviously, he did as a manager, but did he do it as a player? No. That's the reason why he should be in that Hall of Fame. Got to ask you, my friend, what did you think of Brady's comments with Baker? Because we're going to get into that in just a little bit. What Brady had to say about Baker Mayfield. Did you catch those?
I didn't actually. I heard it on the Pat McAfee show briefly. Okay. And from what I understand, Brady gave him the LFG award. My understanding. So, listen, that's basically like saying, "Hey, man, you're doing a good job as my replacement. Here you go." I think that's that's like I would say a high-end respect comment.
Well, no, I agree with you on that. And, Baker had this to say about it. We'll get into it right now. I think a lot of that got taken out of context, and none of it was personal by any means. This is according to Mayfield per ESPN's Jenna Lane. It's just what he demanded of the guys. That's the aura of Tom Brady, and that's what he did to bring a championship here. Nothing personal, but yeah, talking before the game, he obviously is happy for me, and he knows the guys, so he knows how much I enjoy throwing to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin because he's got to do the same. It's fun to be able to talk about the same experience with a guy like that. And he also, in case you missed the comments, This was on a podcast, Casa de, I think it's Club, last week, where Mayfield said the building was a little bit different with Tom in there. Obviously, playing-wise, Tom is different. He had everybody dialed in, high-strung environment. So I think everybody was pretty stressed out. They wanted me to come in, be myself, bring the joy back to football for guys who weren't having as much fun. The way that I kind of took that wasn't Baker Mayfield saying that or his opinion. That was the locker room itself. That was a direct reflection from the locker room speaking through Baker, and Baker wanted to make that point. And most likely that happened in 2022 with all the distractions and the divorce and Brady not necessarily playing to his game. And we knew that there was some type of stress in that. And of course, Brady responded to that. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah.
But was his high level of competitiveness, did that maybe drive the locker room to not have as much fun during the championship years? Even, from them making the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, was it business and then celebrated later? Or did they have fun during that season? Maybe that was something that was going on in the locker room that doesn't leak out, because part of the Patriot way was can't really speak to reporters that way. You can't, kind of keep everything in-house.
Right. Well, I agree. And I think there's something to that. I think, players like Kobe Bryant, players like Michael Jordan, even to a certain degree, LeBron James, they will hold other teammates, their feet to the fire. They're taskmasters, and sometimes they're tough to work with. But that's what makes that player so great, especially Jordan and Kobe, especially Jordan. Just, doing the research there and watching the final dance, or the last dance of hearing Jordan talk and how players didn't like it. But that's what drove them to those championships, and that's exactly what drove that Bucs locker room to the championships. And again, we have a minute. We have lots of congratulations for Tom Brady. We appreciate it. There's appreciation here with this Bucs fan base. I'm going to play these comments really quick here, Charles. Hold on a sec. This is what Brady had to say. And I know you would know something about Brady because you're a big-time Patriots fan, but this is what Brady had to say about Baker Mayfield in his comments. Here we go.
Said, quote, "They wanted me to come in, be myself, bring the joy back to football for guys who weren't having as much fun." It's funny because you've made this environment for me very stressful up here in the booth, so I understand where he's coming from.
Do you feel it?
No.
Feel the stress? No. Well, I was going to say, I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. So there was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disneyland with my kids.
Yeah. So, as you were saying, go ahead. That's you feel like, I feel like there's more in there to say.
There's a way to approach this game.
Yeah.
And it's that with the right mindset and try to push each other outside of our comfort zone. And great teammates do that. You come in, I have someone like Gronkowski, I have someone like Evans. There's high expectations for us. We got to make sure we go out there and deliver.
That's it.
You know something? And how can it be misconstrued is this. Brady was all business.
Yep.
He wasn't in there to make friends. He was there to get rings. And that's what he did.
Right.
He went in there and he got himself rings. Now, when you're talking about maybe the tension between the locker room and Brady, well, I guess in kind of a weird way, Brady is God. He's coming in with his chin up, looking around like, what's everybody doing here?
Right.
It's like Mama and Papa coming home and you've been messing around. Nope, you gotta straighten up now. Mommy and Daddy are home.
That's it.
I think maybe that was it. It's just like Brady walking in that room. Hey, this is my room. I don't care if I'm a broadcaster at Fox. This is my room.
Well,
and they understood that.
Right. And I think Baker has shown that it's his locker room now. And this is a direct reflection of that locker room and his play on the field. They believe in him. They'll play for him. They'll do the same things they did for Brady. I couldn't believe out of this conversation we're on with Charles Richardson of the Charles Richardson Show that the choice there was the Chicago Bears. I don't know why you would choose the Chicago Bears at that point. They didn't have the wide receivers, in my opinion. They didn't have a good offensive line. I can't even believe we heard the Raiders were in consideration, the 49ers, but for me, the Chicago Bears in consideration along with the Bucs at that point? Do you believe that? I mean, that's coming out of Brady's mouth. Do you believe that? The Chicago Bears.
I do, but he wasn't ready to die yet. You go to Chicago to die if you're a quarterback.
Well, we're hoping Caleb Williams doesn't do that. Because
I know.
But the line has been bad. The line is always bad when you put a quarterback behind it. It has been bad. It's the reason why a lot of quarterbacks don't work out in Chicago, because the offensive line is pitiful.
You know what? And speaking of quarterbacks, this is a little bit off topic, but let's go ahead and give a round of applause to Baker. He's been kicked around so many teams, and he's over here kicking ass.
Yes.
And I mean, that's great. You got Sam Darnold in Minnesota. Where the hell did he come from?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and you got Andy Dalton actually maybe even resurrecting the Panthers. Shout out to all these quarterbacks that haven't given up yet.
No, they definitely have not given up, Charles. Appreciate the time, my friend. Keep on calling. Appreciate the stars. As always, use that second call if you want to, my friend. All right?
You got to take care.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And the questions for the night, what'd you think about the Bucs' performance over the Philadelphia Eagles 33-16? What stood out to you? What players were player of the game? Of course, it's easy to say Levante David and Baker Mayfield. As shooter, Shooty shoots there with the Shooty shorts, in case you didn't see that. Who do we pick out for that? I was voicing that. Genius. It was Baker Mayfield and, of course, Levante David. So we nailed that one, did we not? We nailed that one. It was exciting. It's exciting to be a cartoon. I like being a cartoon. Some people call me a Looney Tune most of the time. You can call me whatever you want to. In fact, you can call the phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Godwin's hands are amazing. Mr. Third Down himself. We talked about him, have we not? How he's 2 years removed from the knee injury. How he looks like he's 100% again. God, he is so good on third down. I mean, if you're looking for somebody, it's Chris Godwin. You're in good hands, right? We used to be good hands with Allstott. You're in good hands with Godwin, especially when it comes to third down conversions. Trey Palmer was having a good day until he got a concussion. We'll see if he can come back. So, yeah, Godwin, Evans, the weapons are there. Sterling Shepard showing up yesterday. That was impressive for Trey Palmer and, of course, a Jalen McMillan, who are both right now hurt. Let's go out to Stephen Peter H. Blake. You think Big Mike is going to get 1,000 yards unequivocally? Yes, I do. And speaking of a big-time Mike Evans fan, let's go out to Frankie the Hill Mark from Wisconsin. Welcome to the Evolution, my friend. What's on your mind tonight on a Victory Monday? Yes.
And dude, seriously.
Yes.
1 point off. 1 point off.
I know.
Man.
You had the prediction right yesterday. What was your prediction, Mr. Frankie from Wisconsin?
I said 33-17.
Did you take it to Vegas? Did you take Harry's advice?
No.
You didn't, no betting for you, huh? You wish you would. Yes.
I could have used that money right now, man.
I think
Seriously.
we all could have used that money, my friend. We could have all used it.
I never ever have a doubt when it comes to my Buccaneers. I mean it. You know, right now, I have nothing but faith.
Right, you got to have faith, right? We always talk about that song, whether it's George Michael or Limp Bizkit. You got to have faith, the faith, right?
You gotta have faith.
You got to have faith. I like the rock version.
Good.
Yes.
How good did we do yesterday? I mean, my gosh,
pretty good,
Baker
man.
Mayfield was on fire.
Yes.
Chris Godwin was catching stuff. Mike Evans was doing his thing. I mean, you got to also take in part that, you know, the Eagles team is all banged up, but still.
Their defense is banged up, too?
Their defense is banged up.
No, it's not. Their defense is not banged up.
Their starting defensitive tackles hurt.
Well, he went out of the game because he was dehydrated, or he may have hurt his leg here. I mean, again, did they have? I mean, every team has injuries at the end of the day. I'm not going to lessen that because of that. I'm not going to do that.
Well, the big thing I want to talk about that happened during a Buccaneer game that my buddy was just like, wait, what? He called me up, and he's a Bear fan.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
what? We could have had Tom Brady. And I was like, dude, Tom Brady would have made no difference to your team that year.
Well, I'm not ready to say he wouldn't have made a difference because you most likely would have got Gronk. You would have most likely got anybody you wanted to get there, including that crazy.
He could have got Leonard Fournette to come over there.
Could have got that crazy guy by the name of Antonio Brown, who was also a big part of. Yes. I know a sore subject for Bucs fans, but you could have got him. I mean, that's the power that Brady had. So I'm not ready. Listen, any team could have used Tom Brady. Did it make sense for him to go to the Chicago Bears? Not for me. I thought the Bucs were the perfect situation. The San Francisco 49ers could have been another good situation. The Raiders possibly being a good situation. But he ended up in the perfect situation when it came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had the ready-made team. He was the final piece of the puzzle, and the rest is history.
And I'll be the first one to say, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong.
You were wrong.
I was wrong. The only thing that I wish we would have done is we would have hung on to Winston to maybe learn behind Brady.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I was like, dude, why don't we hang on to him, learn behind Brady?
He didn't want to be. I mean, it's an awkward situation, my friend. It's completely awkward. It's like having an ex-girlfriend.
Exactly.
As a friend, right? So you have the new girl. Well, wait, you have the new girlfriend, and then you keep the ex-girlfriend around, and she's all. It's awkward, my friend. It's too awkward at the end of the day.
Nah. And he was talking about. He's like, dude, I was wrong. You were right. We shouldn't have drafted Caleb. We should have hung on to Justin. And I'm like, I told you.
Well,
I
we'll
told
see.
You should have hung on to Justin.
We'll see what happens with Caleb Williams. I still think he has something to say.
I'm not sold on the guy. I never really sold on him. I thought they should have hung on to Justin, but that's just me.
Right.
We'll see what happens at the end of the year. But the Buccaneers, baby, gosh.
Nice, huh? 3-1.
That was so hot.
What's your confidence level versus the Atlanta Falcons on Thursday night?
Well, considering it's now you got to go on a short week.
Yes.
And when you're always playing on a short week, it's hard.
Well, so do the Falcons. The Falcons have the same
are on a short
disadvantage
week too.
Also, right?
Exactly. But you're playing on the short week, and that's always hard.
Right.
So with that being said, I mean, both teams are playing on the short week, but we're hot. We're hot. And I think we're going to come away with the W. I think it's going to be a close game, though, because Atlanta always fights us just like them dang Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So, gosh, I hate them Saints. Ugh.
I think everybody hates the Saints. Everybody hates the Saints in unison. Everybody hates the Falcons. Everybody hates the Panthers. They hate the whole NFC South, but you especially
Did I
hate
ever
the Saints.
tell you when I went to the Georgia Dome?
Yes.
And I wore my John Lynch jersey, and I did the TO on the Dirty Bird on the 50?
No, you didn't tell me that. You did that?
Oh, I did the TO on the Dirty Bird on the 50, and they were looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a Buccaneers fan.
Yeah, you can't be doing that in a visiting stadium, my friend. Some bad things can happen.
I went on a tour, and they said, you can take pictures, and I wore my John Lynch jersey on the tour. I said, dude, I'm just a football fan, and I want to see this place because my team plays here every year.
Yeah.
So I want to see what it looks like.
I get it. I get it.
So I went and I was just like, dude, can I do a funny picture for my friends back home? They're like, go ahead. What are you going to do? I'm like, I want to do the TO on the 50. And they said, go ahead.
I can't believe they allowed you to do that. I can't believe they allowed you to do that. All right. Well, that's a great story. All right. What else, Frankie?
Well, the other thing I want to talk about is who do you think is going to walk away as starting running back? Is it going to be Rashad or is it going to be Bucky?
I think it's a good problem right now, right? I mean, I think it's so easy for Bucs fans and us alike to say, Bucky's the guy, but they got a good thing going on right now. So Rashad White's getting yards. Bucky Irving is getting yards. I think White is a better catching back. That's not to say I don't think he can run between the tackles or outside, but you see something different with Irving, right? He's got that that next step of explosion, if you will, when he gets to that second level. He's strong at the point of attack. I like Irving as a starting running back, but right now I think it's a good problem to have. Frankie, I gotta run, my friend. I'm gonna go out to the phone lines. Use that second call if you want to. Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? And Stevie from Texas, I saw you calling up, so call back in. We'll put you on hold. But what's your name? Where you calling from?
Eric from Lakeland, Florida. Bring the passion. Bring the excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Victory Monday, Peter.
Let's go. See, that's how you come strong. That's how you come strong to the sports web. All right.
Yeah, I mean, so hot in the stadium yesterday. I'm just glad we won. No opening drive touchdowns for 24 straight games before that?
23 straight games, yes.
23, 24.
But were we counting? There was no doubt at that point when the first play they went to Mike Evans and how all they talked about all week long here, buddy, was getting Mike Evans the ball. Was there any doubt that they weren't going to score a touchdown on that drive? Yes, 23 straights. Yes.
I mean, I called it. I was telling my friend, hey, we're going to score a touchdown here. And then the second drive, the Palmer, it looks like he got hurt on that. I don't know. I was watching the replay of it.
Got a concussion.
And
went through
I don't know if on the punt return, or something where they muffed it. But I don't think he was on that thing. I think he was on the touchdown when we went up 13-0.
Yeah, you go up 14-0 there with a pass through a tight window to Palmer, makes a splendid catch, and definitely had the Eagles number yesterday when he was playing in the game before he went out with the concussion, and did that last year in the wild card game. So you could see that. And of course he gets the opportunity because Jalen McMillan is out hurt. So it's a shame. And then you get down to your third wide receiver at that point. Sterling Shepard comes in and he balls out. So hopefully that concussion protocol. Yes, he did.
A nice 30-yard catch. And then he had another catch, I think.
Absolutely.
And then
3 catches for 50. Let's see here. Let me see the statistics.
I think it was 51.
No, it was let's see. Sterling Shepard, 3 catches for 51 yards. Yes.
Yeah, and he's a vet. He knows Baker. He doesn't even need to be a number 3 receiver, but with Palmer.
Well, that's the reason why you pick him up in the first place, Eric, because he does have that chemistry with him in the past from playing at Oklahoma. And of course, Baker went to the Bucs on that, and they came to Shepard. Shepard was healthy. Hopefully, knock on wood, he can stay healthy. Hopefully, overall, this team can stay healthy, because if I have to hear about another injury, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to pull my hair out.
Yeah, and Cameron Johnson, he had the ball, and then I'm like, oh my God, almost 3 straight touchdowns on 3 drives. But I think we went up 17-0 or maybe 24-0.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of reminds me of AB. It's not big, but he's got the route running. So hopefully he'll get another opportunity.
Yeah, that's a tough comparison. I don't ever want to compare anybody to AB, because say whatever you want to off the field when it comes to Antonio Brown and even on the field. But when he was in his right mind, he was one of the most dominating wide receivers, and he could definitely run some routes. So not ready to make that comparison, but you have that opportunity to catch the ball. You got to make that catch, or you're not going to get those opportunities again. So hopefully Johnson will get that opportunity. Bucky Irving scoring his first touchdown. We're finishing that point on the running back situation. It's a good problem to have. They got a 2-headed monster. Let's see how it works out.
Even Sean Tucker's gonna.
Sean Tucker got in
bigger,
yesterday.
Hey, you have a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1. You need to get, because he's a little bit bigger than Rashad. Maybe not as fast, but he's like a fullback out there. He's pretty big.
He is pretty big, and he may be the fastest running back on this team. He got some opportunities yesterday. So
Bucky's pretty fast.
Yeah, Bucky is pretty fast. A lot of fans love Bucky Irving. You could hear it yesterday. That's exactly what you heard. Update the score right now. Detroit up on Seattle 28-20. Third quarter, 3:03. In a terrible game for Dolphins fans. The Titans are winning 22-6. So if you're a Dolphins fan, the night has not been good ever since Tua has been injured. All right, what else? Pete Rose, does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame in your opinion?
Oh, man. Put me on the spot, Peter.
That's what I do, man.
I don't know. I was talking to somebody a couple of years ago. I was like, "Hey, you think Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame?" He's like, "Yeah, when he passes away." I don't know. I mean, someone was like, "Oh, he's banned." Whether he's alive or But rest in peace, Pete Rose and Dikembe. I can't pronounce his last name.
Dikembe Mutombo. Yes, sir.
Mutombo,
Dikembe
58, brain
Mutombo.
cancer.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a year younger. Well, my uncle's 59. He passed away from lung cancer. So rest in peace to him and Mutombo.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Eric. Good stuff, man. Appreciate the call. Use that second call if you want to. Okay, my
bring
friend?
your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Have a good night, Peter.
There you go. Eric, he is out of the building. He was excited.
It's exciting!
And it is a victory.
Victory!
All right, let's go out to Steve. Steve, welcome to the Evolution on a
Victory!
Monday. What's on your mind tonight, boss?
Oh, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Talk about it, man. How you feeling
Yeah,
about
so-
your Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now?
So I'll share like a quick story.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I'll get how I feel. Many years ago, I used to go all the time to Tampa.
Okay.
And I remember we sucked so bad. And I remember I threw my beer in the field. Oh, the cops came and got me. And then they found out I was in the military. And they're like, "Oh, you Army guys are always crazy when you come."
Which
And they
which
just
branch,
walked me
by the
out.
way? Which branch?
Oh, Army.
Army. Okay. Be all you can be, my friend. All right. So you throw your
Yeah.
beer on the field. What year is
It
this?
was
Is
the-
this during the?
Oh man, it was against the Chargers, and we were just getting spanked. And I was drunk, and I threw it out there. I mean, they were cool though. They just let me go. They didn't do nothing.
Is this like 2006, 2007?
No, this is probably 10.
Oh. Well, it's probably 9 because 10 wasn't bad. 10 was a good year. They had 10 wins. They went 10-6. They missed the playoffs. Josh Freeman had a great year. It may have been 11 when they went 4-12. I'm trying to think of when they played the Chargers.
It was a rough year, but man. So I got obviously a few things, but do you think Mike is losing a step?
No. Does that help?
Okay.
No. Do you think Mike Evans is losing a step?
No. I'm just curious to get your opinion. He's started a little slow this year. That's all. But he's also 31. That's not old, but
Well, listen, I think teams know what moves the Bucs, right? And it comes down to what happened last year. There's some teams out there can bracket coverage, can take Mike Evans away. It's the responsibility of this offensive play calling staff, namely Liam Cohen, to find ways to get him the ball. And then on top of it, Baker Mayfield has talked about this, how he didn't get the ball to Mike Evans, whether it was, not having the time, not being able to see him. That's also on the quarterback. So do I think he's losing a step? No, I still think he's playing at a prime position. Now, there is some type of injury. He's able to play through that. He's able to go. So you're kind of concerned about that. And again, knock on wood, hopefully it's not a serious injury. I don't think, look, if it were a serious injury, he wouldn't have played. Do I think he's losing a step? No. Do I think he'll get 1,000 yards this year? Yes. Do I think that there are teams that are willing to take him away? Absolutely. And that's where you got to make them pay. When you're going to take away Mike Evans, you're going to bracket coverage, you're going to double team him, and you're not able to find him. That's where Chris Godwin comes in. That's where Cade Otton, please catch the ball. Stop dropping passes, which he did yesterday, which most likely he won't get those passes if he continues to drop them. And that's where Jalen McMillan, or in this case, Trey Palmer, or even a Sterling Shepard come in. I mean, they're going to double on your top wide receiver, which it happens. They're going to take away, and that's where your adjustments come in at halftime and in that second half to, if you're shutting down a number one wide receiver like Evans in the first half, that's where you got to figure out how to get him involved. But if they're going to take him away, that's where Godwin and guys like that come in handy.
Bucky looks good, man. And also too, I will say I'll be the first to admit I was so wrong about Baker. Remember when Baker came, I was like, "Oh, great, here we go."
You were so wrong about him, huh?
Man.
You were so wrong about
horrible.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
Oh my God! And now I'm a Baker fan. I'm like, "Oh, let Baker cook. Let him cook."
Yes. What did you think about the Baker comments and Brady comments? What did you think about that?
I don't see nothing wrong, right? They're two different people. Tom he's the GOAT, right?
Yep.
And he's a leader. Like he's a leader. He came in, expectations, and our team unfortunately was not good, and people aren't used to that. And he set the expectations, and then when you hold people accountable, even as adults, grown men don't like being held accountable. And those are facts. And he came in, he set the expectation, he held everyone accountable. We got a damn fucking freaking Super Bowl. Like,
It's true.
Come on, dude, really,
it's true. And I've told fans that, you may be, you may not have liked the comments from Brady yesterday, but at the end of the day, you definitely owe him some appreciation, right? We all do.
I bet they had fun at the boat parade.
Absolutely. I mean,
I bet they had a blast at the boat parade.
Absolutely. A lot of people would not take that back. Brady coming into the organization in the short time. And that's why I say not only does he belong in the Ring of Honor, but that Super Bowl with Tom Brady winning it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was the most important Super Bowl, not only for his career, but also this argument of he couldn't do it without Bill Belichick, because we found out that he could do it without Bill Belichick.
I was in Tampa for the Super Bowl.
Right. So that's why, to me, that Super Bowl is probably the most important in Brady's career. And if you think this organization doesn't want him a part of the Ring of Honor, and it's disappointing to a lot of fans because Brady, he's done the roast. He doesn't mention the Bucs. Of course, they have a ceremony in New England because he won 6 with them and then retired his number. And he hasn't really mentioned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of Bucs fans are hurt, but don't forget,
come on, he can't be hurt. He spent 20 years over there.
I agree, but in the short time that he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, did he not
change everything? Look at us now.
Yes,
Look at us now. We're winning.
Right.
When all these fans who weren't here before Tom Brady, they're still here. They didn't suffer all those years
of losing,
even before the Super Bowl, all those years with the creamsicles. They have no idea
about Vinny Testaverde and Chris Chandler and Craig Erickson and the quarterback merry-go-round with Trent Dilfer and Sean
at the
King.
old sombrero too. Oh, they have no idea.
And it was hot back then, and it's still hot now. And it was a home field advantage, and the Bucs used it to their advantage yesterday versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
David belongs in the Hall of Fame. Pete Carroll, Pete deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. All that stuff happened after he played. How many players take steroids nowadays? And they're going to get in. So I don't really care about that.
Well, they're not going to get in. They don't deserve to get in. And I think it's a totally different story. And a lot of people would compare it, and they say, well, cheating is cheating. No, it's not. Because he did that as a manager, not as a player.
That's what I mean.
Right. And Barry Bonds did it as a player to cheat those records that, once again, are the lifeblood of baseball. So Pete belongs in your opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And, man, I'm sorry I missed the show a lot, man. I'm going through a divorce here. But, man, I love the show.
You're going through a divorce? Awesome. I'm sorry, man. What happened? What happened?
Life.
Yeah.
Life, and then you grow apart, and you just grow apart. I definitely have more time to go to Tampa now.
Well, listen, there's always a bright side to it. You're a young guy, so I guarantee you can
40.
find.
I'm not as young as I used to be.
Hey, 40's the new 20. All right, I'm 46 here on Thursday. I feel 26. I'm still single. I still don't got any kids, and I've never been married before. And guess what? I'm all right. You're going to be okay, my friend. All right.
Yeah, you said something that was I totally agree. Be thankful what you have.
Yes.
Don't be thankful what you could have.
Thank
be thankful
you.
What you have, man.
Yes, that's what it's all about. That's what we talk about on this show. We talk about what we have. What do we have? We have a damn good football team. You have a 2-time Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneer team that we talk about on a nightly basis. What do we have? We have a great fan base. We have the webheads. We have all these people on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter all around not only the United States, but also the world that are Bucs fans and other sports fans. You got the evolution of sports talk television. We got plenty, my friend. Don't worry. Everything will take care of itself. You will find somebody that will appreciate you and appreciate the fact that not only you're a fan of the show, but you're a fan of the greatest football team out there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, you got to do me a favor.
The Bucs are going to beat the Falcons.
Yes, all right.
They're going to beat the Falcons.
All right. Why are they going to beat the Falcons?
Just, Baker is playing, man, he's playing good. That game against the Broncos, he had injuries. We should have won. I honestly think that and it's not an excuse. I think they were looking forward.
I think they were too.
And,
I think, every team.
It bit them in the butt.
Right. Every team has a bad game, right?
And no one wins every game. Not even the freaking Patriots won every game.
Well, not until they get to the Super Bowl and they lose to the Giants. You're absolutely correct. Not every team. There's
What's
only
that
one
favorite you
team.
need, brother?
There's only one team in the NFL history that is the Miami Dolphins. That's how difficult it is. It's difficult, more difficult these days in the National Football League, and it comes down to effort. Any given Sunday, we believe that on this show. Anything else, my friend?
No, you say you say you need a favor. What's called what you need from Texas?
What I need?
Yeah, what you need from Texas? You want some barbecue?
Yeah, man. Yeah, sure. You want to throw me some barbecue? You know what I need you to do? I need you to call more. I need you to interact more. And I need you to say 3 things. You know those 3 things, Stevie, right? What are they?
Bring your passion. Oh, my God.
We got to do this right. We got to get this right, guys. It's bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Now you go. Now you do it. You ready?
Oh, my God.
3, 2, 1, go.
Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any damn nonsense.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, Stevie.
Love the show, brother. Keep it up.
Appreciate you, man. Use that second call if you want to. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Hey, guys going through a divorce. I get that, man. It's a tough thing. I never done it before. Watched my mom and my dad go through a divorce. It's tough. It's tough emotionally. It's got to be. You love somebody for so many years, and then all of a sudden they fall out of love with you, or you fall out of love with them. And it becomes a transition process, and your whole life changes, and you're not sure if you're going to see kids, if kids are involved, or where you're going to live, or if this is the right decision, if you're thinking too emotionally about it, right? So I feel bad for him. I hope it works out. I hope the sports web is, some cure for him being upset. And anything you guys want to talk about on this show, even if it's not sports related, we'll talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I don't talk politics. That stuff is boring. We ain't doing that. You guys want to put me to sleep, you guys talk about that. I ain't talking about that. Talk about everything else, though. So I'm sad to hear that. I really am. Like, that's tough. You see a lot of that these days. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not the guru on relationships. Again, disclaimer, I don't have anybody. I work like 4 jobs with 400 hours, trying to build this career, trying to be somewhat high value, right? High value, be a high value man. I think I'm a high value man, right? So you try to work on that throughout your life. Sometimes you don't have time. Sometimes you just don't care. You're working so much and you love what you do. It's like, somebody's going to come along. If not, screw it. I got to them getting to that age now where it's like, I'm not 26, even though I feel like I'm 26. I'm going to be 46 on Thursday. I've got to that point. So, but you see a lot of that these days. Like, people not getting to know each other. Communication, right, is the most important asset to any relationship. You got to have it. Like, we communicate on a nightly basis on this show. And a lot of people in the relationships don't communicate. They're too busy rushing in. Social media has made us anti-social to a certain degree. Like, we got to be more sociable. We got to be more honest with each other. We got to get to know each other. We got to enjoy each other. That's why you're with somebody. If you don't want to be with them, if you don't want to enjoy their time, if you don't want to be around them, they are the wrong person. I sound like a preacher at this point. I'm preaching the gospel, I hope. I think it's important. I think communication is important to a lot of relationships, especially the main one. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm just saying. I'm just talking. That's what we need to do on this show. That's what we do. We talk Bucs football. We talk relationships. We talk food. The food was good yesterday. Thanks a lot to, and it escapes me, but we got to have them on the sports web the next time we go out there to the What the Buck tailgate with Scott Bradford. Have them on. They gave us pulled pork yesterday. That was fantastic. I think it was pulled pork with barbecue sauce and some macaroni and cheese and some greens, and I ate a little bit of it, ate as much as I could of it, and then I got ready to pack up and go into the press box and eat more. That's what I did. All right, let's go out to this guy.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
Let's go out to Jim here on a Monday. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm giving relationship advice at this point. I think I'm doing okay. Hopefully I don't get canceled at this juncture. People don't turn me off. Yeah. I'm giving relationships on it. I don't have one right now. So there you go. That's how I'm doing. How are you doing on this Victory Monday?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah? Well, what are your thoughts on your Buccaneers being 3-1 at this point?
It's a good thing. Good thing.
Yeah? Well, what's so good about it? Tell me.
Shoot. Seemed like they meshing as a team for the most part.
Right.
And seemed like Baker and Coach Bowles got them pretty focused.
They came out with an effort that they were gonna knock somebody's head off. That's what you got to do. It's what you got to do every game. That's why it's so tough to play in the National Football League. How are you feeling when they lost to Denver? Did you lose any faith? I mean, I know it's one loss, but there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that were disappointed, so disappointed by that loss. They said, this is what they are. This is what a Todd Bowles team is. Were you one of those people that said that?
No, I like Todd Bowles, but
okay.
They were. I don't know. They came out a little lackadaisical, but.
Well, they didn't this week. They definitely didn't this week, my friend. Definitely did not.
Right.
Yeah, was good.
Well,
was
Vita May, this is Vita May. He came back. This is his first time back. He didn't play in the Detroit game, right?
He played in the Detroit game, but he went out, I believe, like the early third or mid third quarter. So it was a big impact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he played, and you could see the impact. You can see what he can do to the opposing offensive line and what kind of penetration and what he opens up. And, being so big and so athletically gifted, you have to double and triple team him. And when you double and triple team him, by the way, if you don't double and triple team him, he's going to flatten your quarterback. But let's say you do that the majority of the time, it opens up things for other guys like JTS, Yaya Diaby, Chris Braswell, and, of course, Levante David, who was the star of the show yesterday.
Yeah.
So
it does open up a lot for that defense.
It does, my friend. It does. So what's your confidence level with them going into Atlanta on Thursday night?
I think seeing that Atlanta is squeaking by, and they don't make many mistakes. So as long as we can play to our level,
right,
and don't make mistakes ourselves, no penalties, I think we got the win.
Okay.
But,
all right.
We just got to, play to our potential. Don't do that. Whatever we did in, Denver came in town. So.
All right, Jim. I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for it. Anything else here on the Evolution?
I think Baker's playing real well, and I know Baker and Tom Brady had different playing styles, but Baker's playing style is fine.
So you don't take offense to what Tom Brady said or what Baker said, okay?
No, I don't think it's an offense to it. They were just giving their own opinions, I guess.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's absolutely fair. And do you think Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm a Reds fan. I guess he could have went in there.
You're a Reds fan? You didn't say that so sure. You weren't so sure about that. Do you believe he should be in the Hall of Fame, or do you think he gets in the Hall of Fame? Which is it?
I think they could have put him in there. I don't know why they put him in there now. They might as well just leave him out. He didn't pass away.
Wow. Okay. All right, Jim. I appreciate the call as always on a Victory Monday. Appreciate you as always. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let me go out. I want to see if I'm missing some comments here from Instagram. Nobody is writing, but appreciate you guys watching right there. Let me see something here for just a moment. I don't know what is going on here. Why is the show Not there. That is so weird. That is absolutely weird right now. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we got some comments to read. We'll definitely read those comments. So to answer your question, I think I go back to it, Stevie. Yes, I think Mike Evans does get it. Eagles fans didn't get nothing but a sunburn and a heat stroke. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
I think Charles Richardson gave me Facebook stars. Appreciate that. Charles, again, greetings. Glad to have the TB rub on Sunday. Made the Eagles fly home for the game. Absolutely. Adam says, Baker cooking with Mike Evans and Godwin back in the slot role. Exactly. You fantasy football guys out there, I told you Godwin was the guy that you wanted to draft. Why? Because you're putting him back in his natural position where he has definitely been successful. Being on the outside, not so much. Being in the slot, definitely. Especially on third down. So if you drafted him in fantasy football, good job to you. Thank you very much, Adam, for the comment. Let's go out to Roger. Pete Rose, WWE Hall of Fame. Absolutely. He is a Hall of Famer in the WWE Hall of Fame, but he's not in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, being known to have a interaction with Kane, right? I believe that is Kane. Roger, you have to call me back on that. I think that's correct. Getting I'm missing my point here. Getting slammed by Kane. So it's not suplexed. I can't think of it right now. Mauricio, let's see. 1,000 correct. They need to keep the momentum. Treat every game like a playoff. We need to show the league we are a serious threat. Great stuff, Mauricio. Appreciate you.
Woo!
Like that comment. It is exciting on a Victory Monday. There we go. All right, so let's go out to Charles Richardson. Pete Rose, yes, Hall of Fame. Did so many great things in the sport. So what if he placed a few bets? Exactly, but he did it as a manager. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying take it for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. What he did on the field has been amazing. All-time hit king. 17-time All-Star. Charlie Hustle deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Whether he gambled on baseball as a manager or not, he deserves it. Lightning 3, Panthers 1, final tonight, preseason game. All right, Tampa Bay Lightning back. Yes, they are playing here in a couple days, starting off their season, so we'll definitely have you covered on that. Bucs fans love to talk and not give credit where credit is due. Absolutely, Bryson. Agree with you on that. They should. They need to do that more on this show. I like to hear more Bucs fans say, you know what? I was wrong. I've heard a lot of that tonight. I was wrong on Baker Mayfield. I like that. That means you're a stand-up guy. Stevie from Texas, you're a stand-up guy. You said it. You were wrong about Baker. I think there's a lot of the fan base that still wants to be right about Baker and that, you know what? This guy's a bum. He's never going to work out. I was right. I'm glad that he plays like garbage. So I was right about that instead of saying, you know what? I was wrong. Baker Mayfield is the quarterback of this franchise right now, and he is going to take them possibly, not only possibly, most likely win a division to the playoffs and beyond. But instead, there are Bucs fans out there who just want to hate. They didn't want to give credit to Baker Mayfield when he got signed. They still don't want to give him the credit. And when he plays badly, they say, oh, I told you so. I told you that Mayfield wasn't going to be a good quarterback. And right now, he's playing top level. He's playing like an MVP. He really is. As crazy as that sounds, the numbers don't lie. He's playing like a top MVP right now. You look at his numbers, 30 for 47 yesterday, 347, 2 touchdowns, and honestly could have had 400 yards if some of those players catch the ball. A lot of drop passes yesterday. Got to correct that. Logan Hall had a great day. Logan Hall did have a great day. Yeah. Starting to develop. That's always a good thing. Especially you're giving him the opportunity. When Kalijah Kancey is out, next man up mentality, Hall steps up. Cameron Decker, I'm here to bring the nonsense. Well, what's new about that? That's what you do. You bring the nonsense.
This guy sucks.
All right, let's go out to Cam again. Baker Mayfield, baked edibles last game. I don't know what that means, so I'm just going to pass up on that. John, great job there, Peter Blake. Bucs with a Thursday night football win, 32-17. I like it. How did you know? It's exactly what I wanted for my birthday. Oh, yeah, that's right. I told you. Hell yeah, preach. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I will preach. Thank you, Joshua. Valid. Thank you very much. Again, questions out there for the night. What did you think about the Bucs' effort on a victory Monday here as the Bucs take care of the Philadelphia Eagles 33-16? Who stood out for you? Again, we're going to get to the injury situation. And we'll continue to read the comments. I want to go back to what Baker Mayfield said on the podcast. I thought some of the comments that were missed, you guys need to focus on. We'll go back to that in a moment, but let's go to this. School played pretty good because Cohen and Baker had a great plan to get rid of the ball under 3.5 seconds. They talked about it all week long. Baker said, we got to get rid of the ball quick, got to make quick decisions, be decisive as a leader. That's exactly what he did on Sunday. Good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Space Wendu. Thank you very much for tuning in there on the YouTube side. Again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on the YouTube side. Yeah, let's go. Can't wait for Thursday. Let's go! I mean, after tonight, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, and then boom, Thursday. You got Thursday night football between your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins and all the hype machine all year long from the national media about how great and outstanding the Atlanta Falcons are. They're going to win the NFC South. They're going to take over the world with all their weapons, and they forget about the team that's won it 3 straight times. Shame on you, social media. Shame on you, national media. Shame on some of you Bucs fans out there, which I saw on some Bucs groups, that actually think the Falcons are better. Exactly. Great game. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Let's go! Go Bucs.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucs. All right. Thank you, Brom. Appreciate you. Let's go on to Joshua here. R.I.P. Mutombo. It has been a tough day. If you're a sports fan, needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate that for Pete Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Joshua here. Commentator was fishing for a story when he brought that up to Tom. Listen, it was going to be a story any way it goes, right? Because Baker made some comments. Baker, backed off of it, said it was taken out of context. I understand where he's coming from because, again, I don't think it's just Mayfield saying this. I think this is the locker room and what they thought about Brady, whether it was in 2022, 2021. There's no denying they won a Super Bowl in 2020. You win in division in 2021. You lose to the Rams, and then the very next year, there's all kinds of distractions. Maybe it wasn't a fun locker room. Who knows? I tell you what, I want you to pay attention to these comments from Baker Mayfield. These, to me, are more of, who ran the offense. And I know a lot of people said Byron Leftwich was terrible, but who really ran the offense, especially that last year? This is what Baker Mayfield had to say about Brady running the offense.
Tom Brady, this guy's calling the shots, right?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of checks.
A lot of checks?
Yeah.
What's the craziest or funniest Brady story you've heard?
You hear some of the stories about if he didn't like a certain play call and he didn't like it throughout the week and they still called it in the game, there might have been a throwaway on purpose or thrown at the running back or receiver's feet. There's a lot of mind games going on.
Prove a point that it wasn't the right call?
Yeah.
Those are the comments I think you should pay attention to, because how many Bucs fans, how many times did we see Brady throw it away into the dirt? And he heard this story from who? Somebody in that locker room told this story. Like that those are the comments you should pay attention to, in my opinion. Like, how come they haven't been focused on? Like, how bad was that offense, especially in 2022? How bad was it? How many times did you see Brady throw it in the dirt? Aha. Why did he do that? Oh, you wanted to prove a point. Why did he do that? Because you want to play some mind games. Again, greatest of all time, but let's not excuse the fact that the offense was not good, especially the last year. Whether it was the offensive line, whether it was Brady not being there, whether it was Brady not having his best, being washed up, having his best days, not wanting to be hit. I thought that was more. I thought those comments, in my opinion, were more of things you should focus on. That right there. Those comments. Just my opinion. All right, Joshua. Thank you very much for tuning in. You've been tuning in a lot. Appreciate that, Deets. There was no shade taken out of context. That's why they were fishing when talking to Tom during the game. Tom was pissed off about it. You could see Tom was, but they had a talk before the game. He gave out the LFG award. We have Tom on this show still, so I think everything is good. There's a lot of Bucs fans that were disappointed by the comments and taking sides about it. Well, Baker has no right to talk about the GOAT. Wait a minute. He does have a right. He's the quarterback of this team right now. He does have a right. He runs that locker room. And he's telling you, not from just him and his opinion, what the locker room is telling him. Remember what we learned in the offseason. That is Baker's locker room now. That's what you pay attention to. Getting off in all these, he's disrespecting the GOAT. He's not disrespecting GOAT. He's telling you what that locker room was like. That's all he's saying. People getting up in arms. Oh, my God. And then, people saying Brady. Brady has a right to his opinion, too. He's not right about everything. Baker's not right about everything. But to say, oh, my God, he needs, I seen a fan today. Oh, he needs to be quiet. He doesn't need to say, be careful. Oh, Baker needs to be careful. Be careful with what? He had a better season than Tom Brady did his last year with an improved offensive line. There's no denying that offense was better with Baker at the controls. Was it not? Yes, it was. Why? Because of the mobility. Why? Because he didn't see, maybe the changing in the plays. Maybe it wasn't the offensive coordinator in the first place. Maybe that's the reason why BA was so upset about Byron Leftwich. Of course, Leftwich didn't get a job, but maybe that's the reason. Did you ever think of that? Those comments right there, that's what you pay attention to. This whole, getting up and on, Baker has no right to say what he said about Tom Brady. Yes, he does. He's saying what the locker room thinks. 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Like, oh my God, he said something about Tom Brady. He's winning games right now. He's playing well. He's playing at an MVP level. I'm not comparing the quarterbacks. Of course, Brady is the GOAT. Of course, he's won 7 Super Bowls. I've said that. And there definitely should be some appreciation by the fan base. Agree with that. But let's call it for what it is. Again, that's not just Baker Mayfield talking. That is the locker room talking. Big difference. Tom brought in the championship mindset, changed the aura of Tampa Bay, which was needed. Baker's more relaxing, fun style wouldn't have worked before Brady, and may have not. But here's the thing. Here's what we learned. When Brady was being courted by the Bucs, what did we hear about New England? How, Bill Belichick was this. He was hard on Brady. And the reason why Brady was coming here is not only the team was ready for it, but they were more lax. They let Brady be Tom Brady. And now we hear that it wasn't as buttoned up. What is it? What was it? Was it not buttoned up enough, or was it too buttoned up? What is it? We've heard different rumors. It was too buttoned up in New England. And I talked about this a couple years ago. It was too buttoned up in New England. So that's the reason why he left. And then it was not buttoned enough in Tampa. So what do you want? I feel like the guy on what's it called? The damn movie that escapes me right now. What do you want to eat for dinner? What is it? The Notebook? I'm going to the Notebook here on a Monday night, on a Victory Monday. What do you want to eat for dinner? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want it buttoned up, or do you want it unbuttoned up? Which is it? I don't know. I'm confused at this point. That was the main reason why Brady went to Tampa in the first place, right? Because it wasn't as buttoned up. Now it's going to be more buttoned up. Now it's too buttoned up. What is it? Just tear the buttons off at this point. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. 2022 was bad. Let's face it, the offensive line was bad. The offense was bad. There was distractions all over the place. The divorce, we talked about divorce and, what kind of impact it can have. You have no idea, but you definitely feel like it took a toll. That offense was not good. The very next year with Dave Canales transitioning over, it was a better offense. This offense is better than 2 years ago, easily. It's better than last year's offense. I don't know. Like, I go back and forth on this. Like, what was it? Is it too buttoned up? Is it not buttoned up enough? Like, well, I was going to choose Chicago. Well, really going to choose Chicago? Why throw that out there? Why was that even talked about? Like, we're trying to create stories on the broadcast. Like, the storyline is Eagles versus the Bucs. I get it. You played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you're really seriously throwing out Chicago? You considered Chicago? Good luck with that. Because like a caller said tonight, and like a lot of Bears fans know, that's where quarterbacks go to die. That's a quarterback graveyard. That's like the Cleveland Browns. They get a quarterback, they die. They're done. You know why? Because they don't put enough around them. Please, spare me. I feel Brady, it's not fun. It's about championships. You can have fun during the offseason. This is why Brady is in a class by himself. It's a good point. Joshua says Flacco as well with a W. Tammy, I don't know about you all, but the last year with Brady was very stressful for me. I think it was very stressful, Tammy, for everybody. That's a good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not deny that. Let's not sugarcoat this. Let's not act like that year didn't happen, because it did happen. For Christ's sake, excuse my language, they lost to the friggin' Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. Are you serious? I mean, the last game you lose to the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, who can't win in the postseason, and somehow you lose to the Cowboys? And that wasn't just on Todd Bowles and the defense and the injury situation. That was on Brady and the offense. Let's stop denying this. Let's not stop sugarcoating this. Let's put it out there. We put it out there on the sports web. We throw it back at you. You throw it back at me. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Ben. Palmer had a good start until his concussion. Absolutely. Ben again. Touchdown first drive. LFG. Yes. Evans getting the ball early brings positive things. That it does. Ben, Vito with that sack, though. Boy, just really flattened Jalen Hurts. It was nice to look for it. I mean, that was a scary scene, because Jalen Hurts not a big guy, but when you see an over 3, and I get it, Vea lost some weight. He lost some weight, but he's still a big guy. Putting down Hurts, that is a nightmare for a lot of Eagle fans. Crazy should be 4-0. Could be 4-0. Falcons rise up, Mr. Toxic Black. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hopefully you tune in on Wednesday night and Thursday night as we get you ready for Bucs versus the Atlanta Falcons. Thursday night football. We'll see what you guys do. Space Windu Tucker, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Ben. This game on Thursday is definitely going to be a division statement. It is. You want to win this. Hopefully they're able to get some of these injuries back, these injury players. Ben, feed Mike. Hello. Absolutely. Feed him. Tom Brady took us over that step. Agree. Never, ever going to deny that. I won't deny that. What I will say is, again, if you're glossing over the fact that season, that last season was not stressful, you're out of your friggin' mind, because it was stressful to a lot of people and the expectations were high. Whether the distractions were there or not, we know they were. And again, was it the offensive line? It was a combination of so many freaking things, right? So many things. It was stressful. It was. And the locker room told you it was stressful. And Baker Mayfield just told you her stories about Brady changing plays and throwing the ball in the dirt because he didn't like the plays. And yet nobody will talk about that. They'll talk about the emotional stuff, but not talk about the meat and potatoes. That's the meat and potatoes right there. Those comments. California repping Bucs to the fullest. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you as always. I am preaching a lot. Jeez, you know I'm right. Preach, Pete. Yes. Yes, we've called him out on the show. We've called all this stuff out. It's a stressful life. I think this is a great comment. We'll get back to that Christopher Cole comment. It was stressful, no lie. Of course, a Bucs life is stressful. It's stressful to be a fan and watch this team because there were up and downs, especially with Brady, right? And this organization did everything they could to bring in as many players to help him out. They tried to retool it. They didn't tear this up. They didn't restart again. They knew what to do. It did not work out. Was it because the offensive line wasn't good? Check. Was it because the defense wasn't good? Check. Was it because the quarterback may have seen his best days? Check. Was it the quarterback because he was distracted? Check. Could have been coaching? Check. It could have been all those things. Wasn't just one thing. The locker room was stressed out. Bucs fans were stressed out. You can't say that about the greatest of all time. Why not? Why not? He's the quarterback of this team right now. He's been the quarterback of this team the last 2 years. Why not? Are we so soft? Oh, be careful what you say about Tom Brady. Come on. It's free game. Is it a big deal? No. They squashed it, hopefully. Baker continues to play out of his mind. He gets a Super Bowl, and then nobody could say, well, he didn't get a Super Bowl for Tampa. Of course, it's always going to be, well, he doesn't have as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady. Well, of course not. That's why he's the greatest of all time. Duh. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. All right. Let's see here. Christopher Cole. On the bright side, the Dolphins found a backup quarterback when Tua comes back. I guess Huntley is playing well. That's good. CD3 having a bad game tonight. That's a shocker. Because coming into it, I like Carlton Davis. But again, the reason why the Bucs move on, because he couldn't stay healthy. And at times, he was inconsistent. He had inconsistent play. You look at the numbers. Quarterbacks are throwing at an alarming rate and gaining yards against Davis. Not having a good game. I've seen him that he had a fumble recovery there, I believe. Did he have a touchdown for that fumble recovery? I believe I saw that. But not having a good night. Shocking. You know who's having a good time right now? You know who looks like a genius at this point? Todd Bowles and Jason Light with going with Zion McCollum, because he looks everything like you would want in a corner that's shut down. He's a shut down corner right now, Zion McCollum. Let's see. Sometimes the truth hurts. Absolutely. Sometimes the truth hurts. It does. Facts. The quarterback in Chicago is like that. I mean, what has changed? I hate killing on the Chicago Bears, right? I'm not a fan. I'm an outsider. I watch. I've got friends that are big-time Chicago Bear fans. But you ask any Bears fan, why has not a quarterback been successful in that system with that organization? Why? Because they don't build around them. Because they don't have an offensive line. Because they continue to change coaches and general managers. That is not a good organization. That is a recipe for disaster. We have talked about this ad nauseum when it comes to young quarterbacks. Want to kill a young quarterback? Put him behind an offensive line that treats him like a chandelier. That's what happens. When you allow a quarterback to continue to get hit over and over again, guess what happens? Not only do they get hurt, but also they get it in their head they have to get rid of the ball. They start to see ghosts, right? Because they don't want to get sacked. They don't want to get hit. They don't want to take it on the chin. It ruins the quarterback's development. The mentality of a young quarterback is so fragile. You know, I relate relationships to sports. This is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, disclaimer, I don't have anybody. But I always say, you want to get somebody, you say, I want you to be my franchise quarterback. Why? Because you want to build around them. The Chicago Bears want to build around a Caleb Williams. You want to put everything around them. You want to do everything you can to make it work. And that's what the Bears don't do. They don't do it. The Cleveland Browns don't do it. The bad organizations don't do it. They don't put everything around them. You put them out there and you think that they're going to, change things. Like you get Caleb Williams. Well, he's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. He may be, but you're never going to know. You know why? Because your offensive line doesn't block. So you get him killed, you get him injured, or you take away his mentality. Everybody was talking about the outside weapons they have. Yeah, they got great outside weapons. Yeah, they have a running game. You got to have an offensive line that can block any team. Right? And you can't change offensive coordinators, and you can't change coaches because you ruin that quarterback's development. Like, it's so big. Like, the teams that are good at it, you know they're good at it. And the teams that are not, you also know they're not good at it. You know why? Because they continue to do the same thing over and over again. You know what we call that, ladies and gentlemen? Insanity. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. A little advice, you know? I want you to be my franchise quarterback. I want to build around you. I want to do everything to make it work. That's what you do. It's a relationship. That's what we've been talking about all night long. Relationships, communication. I feel like I'm running a friggin' dating show at this point. Stevie started me off with the divorce, and I'm going down that route. But it makes all kinds of sense if you think about it. That's what I do here on the show. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter, giving you something to think about. Like, you're just never going to know. You're never going to know how good that quarterback is unless you give him the chance, unless you build around him. So we'll see what happens with kid. Look at Jaden Daniels. People, Washington was garbage. The Bucs beat. They're 3-1 right now. Like, Jaden Daniels right now is eating. He's showing that maybe, and I hope this is not, again, I've got Bears fans that are my friends. Maybe they messed up. Maybe they got the wrong guy. It's too early to tell, but right now it looks like Jaden Daniels is in the driver's seat. Oh, no. Don't be sorry, Stevie. I'm glad you mentioned it. It made me think about some things. That's okay. I feel bad for you. I hope this show makes you feel better and not worse. That's all. But yeah, the quarterbacking in Chicago is like that. Like Justin Fields, Caleb Williams. They're going to be the Messiah. But what do you have around the Messiah? Do you have an ark? Is there a Noah's Ark around him? Because you got to build an ark. You got to build an offensive line around him, right? I'm getting religious here. This is not good. I got to stop. All right. It was stressful. No lie. It was. Definitely happy with the changes we made. Christopher Cole, 0 defense in that game too. Yes. Ben Parrish, no. He slipped on a banana pill. Laugh out loud. Score of this game, 42-27, Detroit over Seattle. That is in the fourth quarter here, so it looks like Detroit is going to win this game. But again, defense has been optional. What else? The question for the night, does Pete Rose deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? What do you guys think? Good responses from you. Let's go out to the injury situation when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles had an update today on Trey Palmer, of course, replacing Jalen McMillan, who's dealing with the hamstring injury, and of course, Sterling Shepard, who came to play. Big-time game for him, made some big-time catches, 3 catches for 50 yards. Bowles had this to say about Palmer. He is better than what he said about Savasier Dennis. Trey, everybody else is nicked up. They should be okay. So does that mean that Kalijah Kancey is going to play? Does that mean Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to play? Does that mean Luke Gedeke is going to play? It certainly looks like Savasier Dennis suffered an injury, as Todd Bowles pointed this out today, where they could, he's hurt, and they're going to check him out, and hopefully he doesn't go to the IR, but this is what Bowles had to say. Savasier got pretty nicked up with his shoulder. I think he hurt it pretty bad. We're going to see how bad. Disappointing, because Dennis was starting to really come into his own, and I think you would have to agree that he was a lot better than KJ Britt at this point. So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Thanks a lot to, all your calls tonight. We had a guest of Harry the Greek here, Charles Richardson, on, but mostly your calls, your comments. Thanks a lot. Tune in on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock as we'll have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, recapping what else? Bucs versus the Eagles, as the Bucs destroyed the Eagles. It never gets tired. I never get tired of saying that on a victory Monday. And then, of course, we'll get you ready for Bucs versus the Atlanta Falcons on Thursday Night Football. We'll see where we're going to be. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Of course, YouTube Super Chats are open. Facebook Stars are open. And do 3 things for me on a Victory Monday. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. You guys that call, you better get this right. You better say it with emotion. Say it with your chest. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, especially you Go Bucs fans, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And as always, Go Bucs.